Dag beste vrienden, we zijn vandaag in het federaal parlement. I will speak in English because my guests today are from Israel and they don't speak Nederlands. And I will introduce them right away. Thank you for being here. Can you briefly introduce yourself, who you are and what brings you to Belgium today?
Okay, so my name is Shadi Khaloul. I'm Israeli Christian. I belong to the Syriac Aramaic Maronite Church of Antioch. I live in Upper Galilee, and I am here invited by MP Michel or Michael Freilich. So thank you for hosting us in the Belgian Parliament.
Sure, my pleasure. We'd love to hear about your life in Israel, about your community, about what's happening now, because there's war in the north and your family is there at the moment.
Yes, I will tell you also about, I am the head of the NGO, which is a non-profit organization called Israeli Christian Aramaic NGO that has two goals, is to revive and preserve Aramaic identity and language for native Christians in Israel, and second, integrate them better within the state of Israel and help them achieve a good assimilation with the Jewish majority and coexistence together with the Jewish, because Israel is a precious country for all of us. It's a democracy, and it's the only democracy that recognizes our Aramaic national identity as Christians in the land, while all Arab surrounding countries until today didn't recognize and do so. And I call you here in the Belgian Parliament to do so too.
Yes.
So it's the time to recognize the Aramaic identity and the Saifo, which is the genocide of the Aramaeans and the Skafno of the Maronites in Lebanon.
And when did that massacre happen? Can you tell us about this very shortly? In what year was this?
It happened during the First World War, 1915, around 1915. And in Lebanon, for example, they imposed, the Ottomans imposed famine on the Maronites, and many, about 200,000 Maronites were killed from hunger, and many migrated, the ethnic links from the region, and they migrated to South America, to North America, to Europe. And in northeast Syria, we have the Saifo, which means the sword, and the Ottomans actually, with the Kurds, slaughtered the Christian Orthodox, Syriac Orthodox churches and their followers, and 750,000 people were killed by systematic, actually a machine of killing that is the Ottoman and the Kurds, in the name of emptying this region from Christians. So as well, parallel, they killed also, beside Aramaeans, they killed about 1.5 million Armenians and another 2 million Greeks.
Now, the Armenian genocide is something that Belgium already recognized, so I think that was an important step as well.
Yeah, but unfortunately, if you recognize that genocide and forgot to recognize the Aramaic people genocide, because it happened at the same time, it means not you are the fault is not yours, it's the fault of us that not making this European community aware of this
So
issue.
That's why it's important that you're here today, that people hear your story. I think that, and it's important because Belgium is a Christian country, to explain to the many people here that at the end of the day, minorities in the Middle East have it very difficult. Jews were persecuted throughout their history, not just in Europe, also in the Arab lands, in Tunisia, in Iraq, in Fez, with pogroms, in Constantinople. And also you as a Christian people are under pressure. There's less and less Christian communities in the Arab world. And even today, you have to flee and you're persecuted.
Yeah, I will ask Amir. He's Amir Khaloul. He will introduce himself, but he's in charge for the heritage and the cultural activities in our NGO. And he will tell you about this issue as well, related to Christians and what their suffer is.
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed. So I'm Amir Khaloul. I am a member of ICAA, Israeli Christian Aramaic Association, and actually I'm so active in teaching Aramaic language and preserving the culture and identity as well. Regarding the question of persecution on Christians in the Middle East, first of all, we have to admit that Israel is the only place that the Christian community thrives, and actually they are living in peace and harmony with the Jewish people in Israel. But we have some rights as any citizen of any country in the world that we are working to for this sake of getting our rights as any citizens in Israel or otherwhere in the world. But regarding the Christians in Arab countries or Muslim countries, we can take as example the Christian community in Lebanon, which become from a very vast majority to a minority in Lebanon, and they lost control of Lebanon because the Muslims imposed themselves. They massacred the Christians since the World War I, and with many wars that they have done in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and the latest one that now being controlled by Hezbollah, who's forcing Christians by sword or by arms to not electing president of Lebanon, who should be Christian Maronite.
Yes.
Even though controlling every economics and every ministry in Lebanon, and any decision should be taken with the approval of Hezbollah. So Christians fled from Lebanon. They live in bad situation, on poverty, and also we can see that they have no decisions. In spite of these slaughtering in Lebanon, also we have the Saifo that also occurred in Syria and Turkey by the Kurds and the Ottomans. And most of the Christians are living in Europe now, who fled and migrated to Europe since the World War I, and in the 70s and 80s. There are a community here in Belgium, in Germany, Netherlands, Sweden as well. They are actually thriving, trying to preserve their identity, their culture, and they have difficulties to do so because they need also help and support from European communities to be able to teach their languages and to teach about their history, especially regarding the Saifo, unless it would be forgotten, and our culture, that especially that we Arameans don't have any country to support us. We don't have an Aramean country, such as Armenia or the Jewish country for Jews. So for ourselves as Arameans, we don't have a country. So we need your support in Europe to let us preserve and teach our language, history, and try to preserve our identity.
Okay, thank you for that information.
I would like to tell you, Mikhail, in Israel, democracy is thriving, and I can show you a very small example. In 2014, we achieved Aramaic recognition for Christians in Israel after 7 years of work, hard work that we as NGO started when I returned back from my studies in United States. And I founded this organization. We start teaching Aramaic language for the kids, Aramaic summer camps. We have a permit from the Ministry of Education to teach in the schools the Aramaic language. And in 2014, after so many hard work, include knocking doors in parliaments and member parliaments in Israel, Knesset, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in the Ministry of Interior, in the Prime Minister's office, I met all Israeli leaders, and I never lost hope. I never lost hope of achieving this recognition because one thing, because we know that we live in democracy, And in democracy, everything is possible when you are approaching the other side according to the law and in a legal way and working in a positive way with the Jewish majority in that country in order to make Israel better for all of us.
Yes.
That's the model we ask others to follow. And as Jesus said, for us, knock doors and it will be opened. And we knocked every door in Israeli parliament until 2014 we were recognized. And in 2017, to continue this process for integrating our recognized identity and citizens as national Aramaic Israeli people, we built a Christian Jewish program in the Sea of the Galilee where 20 Jews and 20 Christians can study together, learn together, and train together, and after 7 months they have a better understanding how they become could become a good leaders for their societies and for the country. And they go, and some of them go to the army, some go to different institutions and serve, but wherever they go they become leaders and they know better about the Middle East and about the society in Israel in order to make Israel a better place for both of us.
Well, thank you very much. I think that is a very positive outlook, and it also shows the strength of a democracy like Israel, where there's respect for the rule of law and respect for others and for other religions.
Yeah.
And Israel today has receives a very bad rap when it comes to the European press, but that is mainly by people who are ill-informed or who use or abuse the current conflict for their own cynical political gains, while Israel has so much that it can teach. It's not a perfect society, but when it comes to the big outlines of freedom, equality, respect for minorities, whether it is in gender, whether it is in religion, whether it is in any other forms, Israel does not persecute its people. It invites people to grow and to continue, and the only fight Israel has is with those that want to destroy it. Yeah. That is something that people must understand.
Exactly.
Israel will not let itself be destroyed, and those that try, they will feel it. But everyone else, the people of goodwill, are accepted, are respected, and worked with together.
In the next few years, Michael, you will see as well a new Aramaic town that will be built in Israel. We are working in it together with the Israeli government, and we will do it because we have actually recognition of our Aramaic people in Israel by the state itself, and there is no Aramaic towns in the state to preserve this culture and identity, which is very precious for all of us, both Christian and Jews. It's both our origins and language and heritage.
Yes.
And this will testify for our common roots, for our being natives to the land as well, like the Jews who spoke still until today Aramaic. It wasn't this land didn't speak Arabic even until now. The names of the majority of the towns and cities in the Galilee, in Israel, in Lebanon, in Syria, up till Iraq, it's still in Syriac Aramaic names or old ancient Hebrew.
Yes.
That refers back to who is the original people and native people of the land.
You're right. And I mean, I know from my own Orthodox Jewish background that the Talmud, the Jerusalem Talmud, was written in Aramaic.
Yeah.
And that's why I do speak a few words of Aramaic. And that indeed shows that, you know, people try to paint the story as the Jews being colonizers who came from far. Well, the truth is that they just came back, but there was always a Jewish presence in the land, and that's where the Jewish people started and grew, and that is where all the roots of the Jewish temple are, the Jewish Talmud. If you start digging in the ground in the land of Israel, you will find Jewish names, you will find Jewish temples, you will find Jewish and Christian heritage, and not Arab heritage.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that Arabs aren't welcome, but that means that we must not forget that the Jews are not foreign to the land. They are native to the land of Israel.
Yeah. And I welcome your intervention in this type of project for building the first Christian Aramaic town in Israel. With your help and with your understanding of this important cause, I think we can together, Christian Jews here in Belgium, in the West, together with Christian and Jews and Arameans like us who understand the common roots, to convince the Israeli government that this is a good project for them and for Israel and for the Jewish people to fight anti-Semitism, to fight BDS movements, and to fight for justice even for minority that is in Israel, to show them how this is a respected minority to compare to other Arab surrounding countries where they persecute us.
Well, thank you very much. I'm definitely looking forward to assisting you in everything that you need.
Thank you.
And to visiting your city and to help establishing the new community, like you said.
Amen.
Thank you for your
Amen.
visit.
Thank you.
Thank you.